Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on this removable quick weave. Here's my braid pattern. 10 braids straight to the back. I didn't even interlock them this time, and I'm just folding them up before I tuck them away. And you see me going ahead and putting on my stocking cap here, but I almost forgot that I needed to put the shower caps underneath first, and that's why this quick weave is actually removable. I was not trying to play with possibly getting glue on my hair, so I doubled up on the shower caps and then went ahead and put 2 stocking caps on because I needed as many layers as possible to protect my hair. Also, you want to be sure to pull the brim of these caps all the way down past your ears because you're going to cut off the edges of the cap. I put makeup on top of where the closure will go here, but this is pointless. Just skip this step because you're actually going to end up cutting underneath the closure. So starting off with the closure and my glue, and I'm just putting the glue around the line where you would normally sew your closure onto your hair or onto a dome cap. And then you want to take the closure and stretch it across your head so that it lies flat, and then adhere the glue. This was the hardest part to glue, honestly, because it didn't lay right away, and I ended up having to do it a couple of times and then put the hair up and do it. So take your time while doing this because it is not the easiest thing to do because you don't have one side anchored and then the other. It's just all in one. But to make it easier, you can glue one side, stretch it after it dries, and then glue the other side. The hair that I'm using today is from Luvin Hair Shop, and it's their deep wave in the inches 16, 18, 20 with the 14-inch closure, and I did bleach the knots on the closure. And as you can see, I'm just separating that and then measuring my first track. And I like to lay the tracks the same way I would do my wigs, and I go from the closure on one side all the way to the other side because I like to have that fullness. I don't like to do the longer just in the back and then go short up top. I like to have that length all the way around and the layers all the way around. And you just cut, measure, then cut, then glue, then dry. And I was confused when trying to learn how to do this, whether you needed to do it with cool air or warm air, but I did it with warm air and I didn't have any problems. And like I said, I'm just laying it like I would do if I was making a wig. Once the process gets moving as far as laying the tracks, this goes super fast, and all in all, it took about 30 minutes to complete this look. I forgot to put spritz on top of the stocking caps before I began laying the tracks, but I remembered almost midway through, and this just helps the tracks to stick better with the glue to the stocking cap. I learned this from Filthy Rich Tresses, so thank you for that tip. And yeah, I just kept going like nothing ever happened. Once I got to the top and I could no longer lay the tracks in a circular motion, and you'll be able to feel when you can no longer go circle to circle and you have to go straight across, I started cutting them shorter and just filling in that extra space on the cap by doing shorter tracks. And you'll see in the next clip that I mismeasured a track and I cut it after laying it. That's perfectly fine to do. And then right here, I spaced it out too much, so I went back in and filled in. You can do all of that trial and error, baby, per usual. And now laying the last track as close to the closure as possible. And that's the hair that I had left over, and I'm just blow drying the entire thing before I go ahead and remove this. And I use warm heat first, and then upon taking it off, I use some cool air just to seal everything in because the glue was still a little tacky. And now I'm just gonna lay everything together and take the cap off so that I can remove those plastic caps. This felt really hot and really tight from all the layers being added on, but it has a perfect fit because you lay it on your head. And then you're just gonna remove those plastic shower caps and you'll be able to see all the glue that you saved yourself from. And then you wanna go through and cut off those bands that I was talking about in the beginning. Like I said, I'm just going in with some cool air just to seal everything in. And then you also want to cut off the excess cap among the lace closure. When I put this back on, it didn't feel super secure, so I ended up going back and adding an elastic band like I do all my other wigs. And then I'm just laying the lace and going through and styling. I wanted to do some wand curls on this hair, so I brushed it out. I did not blow dry the actual hair. I just brushed it out and then went through and styled it with my wand curler. I was not impressed with how this hair did with putting heat on it. The ends were a little ratty and I ended up even having to trim some ends off. When I first unboxed this hair, it looked amazing, but it did not manipulate well into heat styling. So what I did was went through and styled it without any spritz, any product, and I wasn't really feeling it. So once I finished, I went back through and styled it again with some spritz, and it did better, but it still wasn't ideal nor what I had in mind, but it did its job. And this is the hairstyle that I ended up wearing for New Year's Eve. As you can see, the lace is still sliding back on my forehead, but I did go back in with some Got2b, the spray and the gel, and I went ahead and laid that down, and I also added some makeup. Finally, I'm just going through and separating all of the curls because I wanted big body, full curls. That's one thing I can say. Deep wave hair will give you lots of body. This hair wasn't super soft, but it did get as big as I wanted it to, and for that, I was grateful. And then you'll see that I changed the direction of a couple curls, and then honestly, once I went off camera, I ended up recurling the entire thing. So yeah, that was that. I wouldn't recommend this hair for heat styling all in all, but I would recommend it as far as just wearing it in its natural state. It's just not versatile. Then of course I had to add the pop of color with the lips, and of course I'm wearing WLUE Cosmetics on my lips. This is the color Iconic. I'll be sure to link that in the description box as well. I hope you all enjoyed this look. This method is super easy to do, and it's best for people who don't want to sew or don't have the time to sew or the energy. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. The hair info will be linked below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.